This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
I had seen this, but then I had forgotten about this until I saw this again yesterday, or last night. But former Texas Tech basketball coach Pat Knight has resigned his job at Marion, which is a NAIA school in Indianapolis. It did not go well for him this year. They're 5 and.
You probably could assume that, considering he resigned
right.
partway through the season.
5-17 and 2-10 in conference play. Coach Knight said to the Indy Star, and this is, I could just see him saying this because he was a pretty matter-of-fact guy. He said, "I quit today. They wanted me to fire a staff member, and I didn't want to. When the administration starts telling you what to do, nah, I've been there before." Well, we all have a boss, right? So I don't know what the circumstances were with the staff member in terms of why they wanted him to fire the staff member, but apparently he got kicked out of a game this past weekend, and the exit was not pretty. So at any rate, he'd been an NBA scout for years and years and years. And then I guess, this in the last couple of years decided to get back into coaching. And so that would probably do it for him as a head coach, I would think.
Probably so. Feels that way. Mm-hmm.
Maybe go back to the NBA and do stuff like that. He was 50 and 61 with Texas Tech. Man, that it seems like a long time ago. I mean, it was, but it's you're a long ways removed from that. 2014 was when I remember, he went into the university president's office before the Big 12 and said, "Hey, I just want to know, are you going to fire me or not?" And they said, "Yeah, well, we are." And so then he did his radio show that night, and showed up that night and did his radio show from a chicken wing place was where he did it. It was really odd, and there were a lot of. I remember going to that show that night, and then seeing Coach Knight there, and then he went to the Big 12, and I think they were one and done in that Big 12 tournament, and he wore a suit his last game, and then that was it. He's done. Okay.
An ending full of fanfare.
Yes.
By any stretch.
Yes. How about this? I mean, he has really risen up the ranks, but former Tech quarterback Davis Webb is going to be the offensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos.
That's awesome.
He is not, and it looks like that Kubiak's son's going to get the head coaching job with the Raiders, but it also looked like that Davis Webb backed away from that job. Maybe he saw that it was going to go somewhere else, or maybe he learned more about it and went, okay, that head coaching job is not quite what I'm looking for my first head coaching job. So he'll be the offensive coordinator for Sean Payton. And, of course, the Broncos were eliminated in the AFC Championship game 10-7. Now, the question becomes is he going to do some play calling, or is it play suggestion? Because Sean Payton calls the plays.
Yeah, that's part of the deal for any offensive coordinator that's going to coach underneath a head coach that already calls the plays. You have the title, but it's not really the full meal deal.
But it's different because he's not this 51-year-old guy. He's a 31-year-old guy.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, and for him, this particular elevation is a move up. On the staff. And
I would imagine that you'll see, it, especially if things go well there this year, I'll be really surprised if he's not a real OC somewhere else next year.
Yeah, and in this article, the point that they make is exactly what you just said, although they take it a step further. They said if the Broncos offense can take another step forward after ranking 14th in scoring, Webb will surely be a popular head coaching candidate in next offseason's hiring cycle. But now he's considered a rising star.
I don't know. He was a pretty popular one this year. How many did he interview for? 4 of the 7 that opened?
Yeah, but I mean, I think the next step is actually landing one of those.
Oh, sure. Yeah, obviously.
I mean, just look at the situation. Why are they hiring an OC? Because their OC left to take an OC position in Buffalo. Why? Well, because he wants to actually call the plays.
Yeah, right.
The interesting part there is he's going to Buffalo to be under a head coach that was what last year? An OC who called the plays.
Called the plays.
Yeah. So we'll see if that was ultimately a good move for that guy or not.
Yeah, and it kind of sounded like too that, Joe Lombardi, who was the offensive coordinator for the Broncos last year, and had been, he was fired by Sean Payton, but if this new gig if he gets to do a little bit more,
calling plays,
maybe he gets to whisper in the ear a little bit more,
right,
to Joe Burrows, and we'll see how that goes. So anyway, I thought that was both those things were interesting, involving one, a former quarterback here, and then the other guy that was the head coach here for a period of time. Also in the news, and I don't know how this is going to work, but the headline is LSU Tigers to be investigated by College Sports Commission. This is with regard to tampering and trying to interfere, and this is with regard to the former Arizona State quarterback Sam Leavitt. So, and also their pursuit of Washington Huskies quarterback Damon Williams. The CSC has started an inquiry over a potential violation of rules. I didn't know we had rules.
I was going to say there are rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is related
That's
to
interesting.
And this is related to unreported Tiger player compensation. What? What? LSU has been very active in the transfer portal. They've got the number 1 class, but now there's questions about their methods. Okay. I'm sure that you could question a lot of college football programs about their quote methods. Yeah, right.
I think that's probably fair.
So careful before go, finger pointing and all that kind of stuff. Because remember, people that live in glass houses dress in basements, right? Mm-hmm. So just kind of keep that in mind.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Time for this day in sports history. Today is February 3rd, 2026. With this day in sports history, here is Jeff McGuire.
Not a good day.
Another not a good day?
Another not a good day.
Oh, yeah. There's another...
Not a good day.
Another incident today.
1942. Mm-hmm. Baseball owners agreed to permit each club up to 14 night games in the upcoming 42 season.
They probably had to go buy some lights then, didn't they?
Well, no. Had to limit the times they could use their lights, especially games on the East Coast.
Okay.
Because you don't want to light up the cities when all the subs are out there.
Oh, gotcha. 1942. WW2, big one.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Well, the second big one. The big one was the first one.
Right. I gotcha. You're right.
1976. Mike Russell scores 25 points and earns 10 of his 12 rebounds in the first half as Texas Tech beats Arkansas at home 86-78. 1979, Minnesota Twins trade Rod Carew to the California Angels for 4 players. And you can tell that California won this trade because I don't know the 4 players he was traded for.
All right. Do you have them listed there?
I don't.
Okay.
I mean, you are free to look that up.
Yeah, I remember this trade. And
normally when trades are mentioned, that it's a notable, when there's somebody coming back, that it's mentioned in this particular website that I get this information from. They did not.
Gotcha.
1989. Baseball's National League announces New York Yankees broadcaster Bill White will become the first African-American president. 2002, Super Bowl 36 in the Louisiana Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, which is a good place for the Louisiana Superdome to be. New England Patriots beat the St. Louis Rams 20-17. Tom Brady is your MVP. And 2019, Super Bowl 53. Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. New England Patriots beat the Los Angeles Rams 13-3. Julian Edelman, Patriots wide receiver, is the MVP. Patriots' sixth Super Bowl victory. They go for 7 on Sunday.
What are the odds? And I'm just kind of wondering here because I think this is something that the Patriots would do. What are the odds that they have somebody on standby to? Because their plane has the 6 on the tail. What are the odds that plane, if they win, when it leaves on Monday morning of next week, that it's got 7 on the tail already painted?
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think that'd be awesome if they did that.
Mm-hmm.
It is National Carrot Cake Day.
I
like carrot cake.
Yeah. It's just...
I'm a big fan.
It's just not... Don't put too many carrots in there. Little chunks of carrots. Just don't make them too big.
Fair, I guess, because you don't want to eat a whole carrot in a carrot cake.
No, I just don't... The carrot shouldn't dominate the cake.
I mean, by definition, it is a carrot cake.
I'm just going to say, I don't think Chuck and I have ever shared a piece of carrot cake. So we've not eaten off of the same carrot cake.
Mm-hmm.
I never in my life have eaten a carrot cake and ate a chunk of carrot.
Well, there's carrots in it.
I understand that, but they're mixed up. I've never oh, that was a carrot.
What's up, Doc?
Never in my life have it felt like I was biting a carrot and not cake.
Okay. Sometimes, if they get too...
I think your baker there got a little lazy.
Or got over aggressive with the carrots.
Under aggressive.
But talking about just having... The chunks are small, but not too many.
Okay. Again, we've never had the same cake, so maybe his chef is different than my chef. Yeah. So,
happy birthday to Warwick Davis, who's 56. He was in Willow. He was also the guy inside R2-D2 for the Star Wars series. And he was... I'm missing something. God, there's one more and I'm forgetting it. And I'm a terrible person for that.
You're probably...
So he was inside R2-D2, but then he was a regular actor as well?
Yeah, he was also... Yeah, and he was Wicket in Willow. He was in Willow and he was Wicket in Return of the Jedi.
Wicket?
Yeah, one of the Ewoks.
That's wicked cool.
Nathan Lane is 70 today. Frank Tarkenton is 86.
Fran
Tarkenton. Why would I say Frank? There's no K there. The K is in the second word. Sorry. Vladi Divac, 58. And Rugad Odor is 32.
Rugi.
You got to say that one right or he's going to punch me in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And on this day, 1959, rising American rock stars Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and J.P. the Big Bopper Richardson, along with the pilot, were killed when their chartered Beechcraft Bonanza plane crashes in Iowa a few minutes after takeoff from Mason City on a flight headed for Moorhead, Minnesota. Investigation blamed the crash on bad weather and pilot error. And that is this day in sports history.
In sports history. All right, so Rod Carew, and I am familiar with 3 of these pitchers, okay? Or 3 of these players. And really, I think the fourth one, but none of them, only one player was really kind of mediocre good, but not anywhere near what Rod Carew was. So the Angels send Ken Landreau, Dave Engel, Paul Hartzell, and a left-handed pitcher, Brad Havens, to the Twins for Rod Carew. Now, here's the thing that's interesting. I didn't know this, or I'd forgotten this. The Twins were trying to do a deal with the New York Yankees, Jamie, in January of that year of 1979. And Carew would have gone to the Yankees in exchange for Chris Chambliss, Juan Benitez, Damaso Garcia, who had really more of a stardom with the Toronto Blue Jays, and Dave Righetti.
Rags.
So that's probably good that the Yankees didn't make that trade, especially with regard to Benitez and especially with Righetti. So at any rate, that's just kind of a little bit back in time there. I'm with Jamie. I believe most carrot cakes use a shredder to shred the carrots in there, not diced. Somebody else, the carrots are supposed to be shredded so you don't have bigger chunks. Okay. Somebody else, Fran Tarkenton's first name is Francis. Right. Francis. Right. Yeah. So there you go. Somebody else, did y'all discuss why Anderson was out? Well, the word is that he was sick.
Yeah, I mean, with everything that's going around our city right now, I mean, was it surprise anybody that he has the flu? Right?
Yeah, or something else that came on quickly, Just
under the weather, or stomach bug, whatever. Yeah, I don't think there's any worry about anything besides that. I mean, he looked healthy, all that good stuff. You could see he was wanting to get in there and play, but according to Coach McCasland, the trainers just ultimately said no. So, I mean, he just looked sick.
Yeah. So I don't think there's anything to see there. I don't know if somebody's trying to see something there, but I didn't see him because we sit on the bench side, but we sit on the south end of the arena, so I never saw his face. So I'm just, if he's sick, if you're sick, you're sick. If you can't go.
I saw people said that he looked uncomfortable, and when he was walking around in the tunnel there and getting on the bike and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And on television, he just looked. I don't know. Sometimes when you feel that way, you almost look timid or peaked.
Icky.
Yeah.
Just look icky.
I mean, he's a human being.
Yeah, right.
Human beings get sick.
You're allowed to get sick. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think this is.
And as much as those training staffs pump those guys with all the things that they need to try to avoid it, it's almost impossible to do that.
Yeah.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Good morning with Jamie Lent, Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. Jamie, we get this off the Yates Flooring Center chat line. This is from one of our regulars. Okay, with regard to the game last night, it forced other players to stand up and be big, and maybe this shows you can spell Anderson at times during the game to keep him fresh, which will be extremely important in a tournament setting where there is limited rest and recovery time.
I thought the same thing myself a bit last night, is wondering, like, for example, Jazz Henderson coming in and making a shot and thinking to myself, what does this give Coach McCasland more confidence in him? And maybe he does give him a couple minutes every game, and it allowed Christian to have a little bit more rest, than he's getting now. So I had that same thought. I wondered during the game last night. That's not necessarily something that the team learned, but something that Coach McCasland, you just wonder about that. I don't know. Obviously Jalen Petty has been was a guy last night that took on a different role where he was trying to be more of a facilitator. And I thought early on in the game he was doing a lot of that. Unfortunately, he just didn't have a great night shooting the basketball.
Jazz comes in, plays 7 minutes, 47 seconds, hits the 1-3, put up 2 shots.
Had the highest plus minus on the team.
He sure did, right? Of 11. And he had an assist to go with that.
In fact, he was the only one who had a positive plus minus.
Yeah, because Watts was at 0. Everybody else was at negative.
And he was at 11.
Yeah, 11 for his 7:47 on the floor.
It's impressive. You could have survived that game if you just had. I mean, Donovan was a little bit off last night, right? Jalen Petty was a little bit off last night. Just neither one of them had great nights shooting the ball.
And while Bamboye played 8.5 minutes, he didn't take a shot, didn't get a rebound.
I didn't think he played very well.
Well, I'm just getting ready to say he had 3 personal fouls.
Yeah, he was fouling too much.
Yeah, just
wasn't a factor on offense.
Yeah, just didn't. But he played 8.5 minutes. So does that mean that he, can he get a little bit more involved? But maybe the bigger story is Jazz Henderson.
I was, really surprised that we didn't see much of Mosley last night.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier.
I feel like in the first 2 outings, he's come in and give you good minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And he played just 3.5 last night. So I don't know if that was a matchup situation or, especially with Toppin being on the bench in foul trouble, you would have thought that he would have gotten a run there.
Yeah, because JT had 3 personals, and it seemed like pretty early into the second half, or at least maybe midway through the second half. Do you think and it's just the chat line, okay? I haven't talked to anybody since the game ended last night. Do you think everybody's a little too hard on this team given the fact that you didn't have Anderson last night? I realized that you collapsed at the end, but it feels like it's been just a little chippy.
Hey, without him, you played good basketball. In 35-minute mark, you're up by 10.
Yeah.
Yes, if you look at the big picture, you're like, hey, the fact that you only lost by 3 without Christian Anderson is somewhat surprising.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that.
Yeah, right.
Okay. But at the same time, the way you played the last 5 minutes of the game was pretty icky.
It was.
I don't have a problem with people being chippy about it.
Okay.
You showed the potential that you can play good basketball even without Christian Anderson, and then unfortunately you didn't do that for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. Somebody says this, it's easy to be mad at Watts because he had the turnover, but we only scored 7 points in 10 minutes. Yeah, and you scored, 2 in the last 6. So it wasn't just him.
I'm trying to remember. Did Watts throw it into Toppin and Toppin threw it back to Watts?
Yeah.
That's what I had in my mind.
Yeah, I think you're
I have, if I'm being honest, I put that on Toppin more than I do Watts.
I do too, because he was facing the stands over there, and he was kind of turned at a little bit of an angle, and the ball hit him right in the back. It's almost like okay, I'm getting rid of the ball as quick as I can here, and didn't see that Watts wasn't turned around.
I put some blame on all of them, but I think Watts expects when he throws that ball in, JT's going to turn and bring it up a little bit. At the same time, in defense of Toppin's not the guy that's usually bringing the ball up the court. In this situation, it's Watts. Without Christian Anderson on the court, it was Watts all night long.
Mm-hmm.
And so Toppin's, hey, I'm going to get it back to my point forward here.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, 50-50, whatever. It's on both of them.
Clearly it was not the play that they drew up. And they had just a little bit of pressure there, because they had just gotten the ball, turned back over to them on a review. And it was really interesting because, Kansas, with about 2 minutes to go in the ball game, called for a review with 1 timeout left, and they didn't get it. The ball stayed with Texas Tech, and they had no timeouts with the last 2 minutes of the ball game. And I thought that was really a questionable move by Bill Self there. It's like, look, they got a lot of people that are looking at those computers when those bang bang plays happen like that, but it's like, well, that seemed like an awful risky move. Yeah,
and watching the video, it was like they would show you different angles, and it was one of those deals where one angle you're like, yep, off of Tech, the other one you're like, yep, off of Kansas, back to the other one, up, yep, off of the Red Raider. I couldn't tell, and so I thought they made the right call by saying inconclusive evidence.
Yeah, and we don't get I don't know if this is a Big 12 rule or not, but it's unfortunate. I wish we could get the video replays in the arena, but on the big board. But we just, and they probably don't. They probably either they aren't allowed to do that, don't do that, just to incite the crowd. But sometimes,
I was going to say, I don't, as much as being a fan and being there, I would want it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would be a smart decision, because I would fear that the crowd yelling and screaming would, getting riled up when they see them would sway the officials a little bit. I'd be afraid that it would. As they're sitting there watching them and the crowd's watching them, I'm fearful that it would sway the officials.
And I'll just say this in defense of the officials that are at least the ones that I see on the women's side. And it's different when you have 6,000 versus 15,000. I understand that. But when they come over to look at that, because I'm sitting right there, they seem really locked in. I mean, because I'm commentating and they don't look at me like you're crazy. You're crazy, man.
What?
Maybe they already
have they not listened to this show?
Maybe they already know that.
They haven't been listening.
Way to go, Bill.
Yeah. Maybe they already know that.
Yeah.
But anyway, it just seems like they're pretty locked in. And then they do a really good job, I think, of talking to the other officials and becoming, because you had a number of those reviews on Sunday, and that a couple of them were reviewed and they were inconclusive.
Are the reviews only not shown in basketball? I swear I see them in football.
I know. I see them in football. I agree with you. And I don't know. Maybe it's after the decision's been made in football and they're still waiting out the 5-minute timer that we've got to wait through. Feels like sometimes they're shown and feels like sometimes they're not. But anyway, I wish they'd show them. But I hear what you're saying.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, gentlemen, it's Super Bowl week, so I'm going to ask you a Super Bowl question.
Okay.
You cannot answer anything about your favorite team.
Okay.
What is your favorite Super Bowl highlight?
Favorite Super Bowl highlight, man. Goodness. One that stands out. I enjoyed the John Riggins run for a touchdown, and the Redskins win over Miami. I appreciated the catch from David Tyree with Eli Manning against the New England Patriots. Although, truth be told, I think I was rooting for the Patriots in that game just because they were undefeated, and I thought, well, that'd be cool to see an undefeated team go all the way through. The Vinatieri field goals have been pretty special. The Malcolm Butler interception that prevented the Seahawks from winning.
You gonna leave any for us?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Sure. That's. Yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
Which one's my favorite?
You get one.
I get one. I'll take the. I'll take the Vinatieri field goal to win it because I thought that was pretty cool.
We could not be more different. I mean, your favorite highlight is a field goal.
I don't know. I just
field goal. It's like wow, that's exciting. That's a field. I get that it won a game.
It won a game. You've had very few end of game wins in Super Bowl history.
And as a Bills fan, we would have loved for one of our field goals to go through.
Absolutely.
Don't get me wrong, but I mean that's an interesting highlight.
Okay.
I've said this on the air before. Mm-hmm. There's one actual piece of memorabilia that I will never get that I desperately want. I want that 1 yard short to keep the Titans from winning the Super Bowl. Because that is the former Houston Oilers team that left. I'm a Cowboy fan and a Titans hater. from the word go when they left to go to Tennessee.
So you're rooting for the Rams that day?
Big time. I desperately want just a 1 yard stretch of turf with plaqued, little sign underneath, 1 yard short. Suck it. That's all it needs to be. That's it. That's the play. If I chose the second one, it had Elway connected on his final throw for a touchdown pass in his second Super Bowl win. That would be it, but he didn't make that pass. He didn't complete that pass, but that throw, that moment, that was really cool.
I'm going with, you just said the name. I'm going with John Elway's scramble and flip into, I think they call it the helicopter dive.
Yeah.
And he spins and lands in the end zone against the Packers. I think that was my favorite Super Bowl highlight that I was like, wow, that was a lot of fun. The Tyree catch has to be way up there also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because of...
Yeah, I felt like that would have been a little bit unfair for me because the Giants were my dad's team. So,
okay.
But that one was one that I really thought was cool as well.
Mm-hmm. So
you mentioned Marcus Allen's earlier today, Chuck.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one that I've seen a million times before, and always thought that was a great play.
No question. I mean that was a backbreaker because I think it was right before halftime, when the Raiders won that game, over the Redskins in 1984, January of '84. So somebody else brings up the Rams stopping the Titans. Somebody else says this: the last Seahawks-Patriots game, Super Bowl, cost me a $35,000 Super Bowl square. Just give it to Lynch and run it in. Mm-hmm. Ooh. I wonder how much you paid for that square. Somebody else says it's Leon Lett, always will be.
Oh.
That's a little painful for you, isn't it?
No.
They lost that game.
I'm well aware. Thanks for letting me know, Chuck.
I know.
Yeah,
but Don Beebe,
Don Beebe made it's one of the most famous plays in Buffalo Bills history, unfortunately.
Yeah. Somebody says the Steelers interception return against the Cardinals. Okay. All right. That was there's you can pick them out. There's always some plays. There's always something good. Hopefully it'll be a good game. Between do you care who wins?
Yeah, I don't want the Patriots to win.
Okay. Any particular reason? Just you don't like the Patriots?
I don't like the Patriots.
Okay, that's fine.
They're a rival to the Bills.
Okay, yeah. Jeff, do you care who wins?
I don't. I'm going to have to wait till we get in the game and someone's going to do something that ticks me off. And that's when I'll root for the other team.
Okay. I wonder if we have any long time. You can't say there's any long-suffering Patriots fans because they've had, huge success. But maybe there's some Seattle fans out there that haven't gotten to experience or don't remember it because their one Super Bowl win was back in 2014. So it's been.
Are you buying
years.
in the theory that because we have the new Pope, the Seahawks win the Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, because of all.
It's happened every time. In fact, you could even say it's every time.
Oh, okay.
Every time that we've gotten the new Pope.
Somebody says Refrigerator Perry scoring a touchdown. Yeah,
that's fun.
That was fun, but it kept Walter Payton from getting one, and it kind of felt like that he deserved to have one. But sometimes it's about winning the game too.
The Bears did that all season long.
Yeah,
that wasn't the first time.
True. Carl from California, who's in Lubbock right now, says the Bob Lilly sack of Bob Greasy. Okay. And the Cowboys would go on to win that game over the Dolphins.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hey, good morning. It is the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com with Jamie Lent, Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. We come to you from the First United Bank studio. Thoughts, comments, the Yates Flooring Center chat line, Visual Edge IT hotline. It's open, 806-771-0973. All right, so we'll have high school hoops on the air for you tomorrow, featuring, or tonight, actually. Today's Tuesday, right?
It is.
Okay, so tonight at 6, the Memorial girls face Big Spring at their place, and then the Memorial boys will do the same thing, and we'll have that game after the Memorial girls game, okay? So that's a little girl-boy doubleheader for you tonight. That'll be on Sunny 97.7. The festivities begin at 6. Tomorrow night, a special edition of the High School Fan Zone. I want to get Jamie's comment on this. We'll have, as per usual, it's just different this week because we'll have Lubbock ISD Athletic Director Mike Meeks, Lubbock Cooper Athletic Director Max Catwinkle, and Friendship Athletic Director Brian Gerlich. They'll be on the entire show, and they'll talk realignment tomorrow that took place yesterday with the announcement of who's going where. And Jamie, in the spirit of that, schools that are most, there's a lot of schools affected, but we'll talk about the big schools with regard to Class 5A, Division I, Region I, District 2. This is football that will include Friendship, Memorial, Monterey, Lubbock High, and Friendship, along with Tascosa, Caprock, Amarillo, and Abilene. That seems to make a lot of sense right there. Right?
It sure does.
Okay.
Yeah, good stuff.
In Region 1, 5A, Division 2, this is District 2, you have Abilene Cooper, Abilene Wiley, Amarillo, Lubbock Cooper, Coronado, Wichita Falls Legacy, and Wichita Falls Memorial. That seems like a pretty diverse group of schools right there.
Mm-hmm. Cooper's been in a district in football where they maybe didn't have to travel as much, and it appears that they'll have to do that a little bit more now.
Yeah, and the same thing for Coronado too.
Yeah,
you
true.
know.
Yep.
I don't know which one's harder or not because they're all difficult. It's more about maybe the travel and this being in the same kind of student size of a population more than anything else.
Sure.
And then in Class 6A, none, because Friendship goes down because of Memorial. And I think the thing that shocked me, and look, our kids are grown and gone, and we're out of the high school business, the young phenoms in middle school, and so we're not quite there yet with him in terms of trying to understand everything and that's really not ours to understand. That's the parents' job. We're just along for the ride. But Memorial having a larger student population than Friendship shocked me.
Yeah, I guess it's just where that area is booming and all that good stuff. So that's why they put it there.
Sure, no, I got it. I mean, you put it where the people are, right? But I mean, it just felt like that. It feels like that there's more people there at the beginning than what they thought were going to be there at the beginning.
Yeah, I can't answer that. I'm not sure. I don't know the answer to whether they expected that to be the case or not.
Just one thing that I had seen showed that they'd already exceeded kind of where they thought they were going to be 2 years from now. I'm not saying that the school's too small now or anything like that, but I'm guessing that they've got room for expansion over there.
I hope so. Hope the powers that be made those decisions.
It seems like there's a lot of rooftops going in that direction. So
yeah, no doubt.
So do you feel like do you like kind of how it's been done with it, maybe with the exception of what Cooper and Coronado are going to have to go through?
Yeah, and then it'll be a little bit different during basketball season, and Cooper and Coronado will be with the Lubbock schools more, and I really like that. I love it for all the parents with the travel part of it, and I also love it just because rivalry games are fun. Right?
Sure.
And playing against crosstown rivals and all that good stuff teams that you know players on and all that. I think it brings excitement. I think it's fun for the parents. I think it's fun for the players. So, I'm a big fan of what's happened and what's it's going towards.
Because, for a lot of these kids, I mean, obviously they've played on the same teams, whether it's AAU or played against each other from travel baseball or, basketball or whatever.
But you could play on the same team, AAU team with a kid that's 2 hours from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have to be in the same city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've made it, it's made it challenging, I guess, maybe for some. Mm-hmm. And for the parents are the ones that I kind of feel for, just from the standpoint of, having to get off work and, travel and then hopefully your kid gets to play.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because last night talking to my kid, and she'll take her last ever regular season road trip tonight. And we were talking about the new districts. And she was saying that she felt bad for the kids in the future. Mm-hmm. And I was saying how I felt great for the parents in the future. And her point being that those bus trips are fun. She loves being with her teammates. And whether it's on the way there or the way back, it's a blast. And when she gets home, she always has stories of funny things that happen on the bus or whatever, what they were doing and all that good stuff. And she's like, I feel bad for these kids that are only going to play in town. They get 15-minute bus trips. She's like, we get to go 2 hours to Odessa and Midland and 3 hours to St. Angelo Central. And I'm like, and I hate every minute of it. Can we just play in town?
Yeah.
So it's funny, a different perspective from the kid compared to the parent.
Of course, it's challenging, though, when you're coming home from a loss when you're 2 hours away, but they haven't had to experience that very much.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that the it's toned down a little bit, but I mean, these kids are resilient. I mean, I think that, after a little while, they're still having fun with each other. I don't think they're all bawling on the bus ride home.
No.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking about it from the coach's standpoint. I'm like, okay, how?
Yeah, no, I definitely feel for the coaches during that time. And the coaches who are probably more upset with the loss or whatever. You want the kids to be kids and you want them to have a good time and you want them to have fun. At the same time, you want them to, hey, this should sting a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, so that's probably a really hard, fine line for coaches to make sure their kids are still having fun and enjoying the moment. But at the same time, hey, you got to have pride in what you do. And when you don't do it very well, you shouldn't. You should be down about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do the Friendships have tonight?
Permian.
Oh, down there, their place.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Permian Panthers, a little mojo.
Something like that.
Yeah. Hopefully not. Hopefully the Friendships have the mojo tonight.
Hopefully it's better than Friday night was. It'd be hard to be worse.
Yeah.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.